Hello, self, cosmos, universe, Ohana. It's Soul Dr. Nick here. It is March 21st, 2025, spring equinox. Exciting day. Lots of changes. This is magic mirror work. Again, for me, by me, through me, as me. If you choose to watch it, you're welcome to. And I'm not trying to create this for you. I'm creating this for me. And it just so happens I'm making it public as well. And there may be some ramblings here that are really interesting and exciting. And there may be really boring, pointless, methodical stuff. It's like, what the heck am I doing here? And it's part of my practice. How do I create? How do I be in a space of creation? Not content creation, but creation of me. Creation of me, reflection of me, being of me, transparency of me, authenticity of me. And so much has happened today. I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to do this on the phone because the phone just wouldn't start. I had to figure out how to do a forced restart. It's like, what is going on? What is the universe trying to tell me? And I don't know yet. I don't know what the message is yet. I just wrote it down. It's like, all right. I was thinking maybe it wasn't going to work, and now I know how to force restart it. So I remember that pattern, that sequence again. That may be it too. It may be useful to do in the future. My dear friend Francis is visiting from the island, and so grateful he's the first person to stay with us. He'll be here for 4 nights. He's already transformed our home, changed our old office table into a dining table for my beloved, and she's so happy with it. So we're planning all these other things. And then we had an amazing breathwork session last night, which is so synchronous, which a dear friend came over for as well, and then had a play date for my son. They just wanted to come over too. There's all this activity happening in the house. And it was just a swarm, and definitely felt the Andromedan energy, the Arcturian energy, felt the connection, felt the perfection of it all. It was such a reminder. Like every time the breath, it's a reminder, everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. Can I impart that message on everyone and then remind them it doesn't mean we have to keep doing things the same way. It doesn't mean that we don't get to strive, we don't get to try, we don't get to fail, we don't get to succeed. It's just noticing the part that says, why shouldn't this be happening? Even this morning for me, as the phone wasn't working, it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so frustrated. It's like, all right, let's figure this out. Let's make sure we still get the sunshine. And that's what I'm going to remind myself of. See, it's all these little things. It's right now the morning sunshine. And as I've learned from Dr. Jack Kruse, how important it is to be outside for the sunrise sunshine. And I was a little bit late for that because I was tired and I didn't want to get outside yet. It's raining, so that's why I'll stay under this awning right now. But I'm going to invite, request the energy of this sun to come on in. Come on in through these eyes. And listening to Jack Kruse, and he's talking about red light therapy, which really is just part of this sunrise light therapy. And he's like saying how he had a father who, healed his bone in his leg, healed his AMD, acute macular degeneration, I think it's called. And I'm reminding myself we're energy, we're light, we're vibration. And all we have to do, in a way, if we want to be a breatharian, is to expose yourself to more and more of this and to understand how these processes work. And that's part of what he's trying to speak to, is that he dives deeply into how to understand them all. I dive into the surface a lot of these things. And how do I complement his knowledge with my way of being? Because I don't want to be like him. I don't want to be him at all. And listening to how he weaves together the tale of all the different ways that life has unfolded and all the stories, I was like, I can see that. And it doesn't mean I have to search down and go down that rabbit hole either. There's so much to living that I don't need to understand how life works first, how history works. And it's not that I'm trying to avoid it. It's just, what is the main focus right now? It's being with myself, being with my family, being with my Ohana extended family, being with my business, being with financial. And I realize now it's bumping up my health side of things. I've got a little kink in the lower part of the neck, around C7T1 again. And it's much more minor than it used to be. Last night slept much better than usual. I felt like a healing wave of energy as I was leading the breath, and I was like, I know that things are great. And I just have to remind myself of that. And the same thing with their bodies. I was like clearing out the disease, the dis-ease. And it was like, now you get to choose to pick it back up again. It doesn't mean it's gone forever. It doesn't mean it can't be there. One of the things that I'm remembering is I can't take someone's stuff away from them. I can guide them towards letting go of it. I can guide them towards alchemizing it and guide them towards dissolving it. And then it's their choice if they want to resolve it, if they want to bring it back, if they want to reattach to it. And it's okay. It's part of this lifetime, and it's part of the spiraling and just noticing the spiral of life. Like, you can feel like you're spiraling in terms of spiraling out of control, but spiral of life. And noticing, for me, I'm noticing all the different movies, all the different parables. Many of them, there's a grain of truth, but there's also that part where it's trying to limit. It's trying to limit possibilities. Oh, let's put this here. All right, there's a slight adjustment to be made on this tripod, but I won't try to do it here while I'm also holding it at the same time. Yeah, the rain is actually pushing into me so much. I'm like, let's come back inside for a bit. Whoop. There we go. Having so much freaking fun in this life. It's not even funny sometimes. I feel like I've hit cheat codes. And as I was starting, I downloaded Resonance 3 for the Mac. And I'm glad I did, because I'm just like, oh, this Mac can handle gaming that's optimized for the Mac. But one of the things is that it's like, do you want to start a normal game, an advanced hardcore game, or a game with some assist? I'm like, I want the assist now. There's enough things I can create real challenges for. There's enough storylines to go down. I used to want to be that hardcore, like with my best friend. It's like, how do we get the hardest version of the game? I'm like, no, let's do the easiest version. Then I get to see how far the level goes. The levels go. And we're talking about that, whether you want to believe in star seeds. Like, what if this is our last lifetime on Earth? And I love that realization. I was talking to somebody yesterday. I'm like, if it is, do I want to be consumed by the fear, or do I want to actually just go for it? And I was like, thank you for seeing this, and thank you for that seed of consciousness being planted in you for that. And that's the piece for myself too then, because it's easy to say I want to live without fear when I've got other people that are more scared of me. I realized that a while ago. Like, I was like, oh, I'm fine with spiders if someone else is more scared. Because then I almost have a way to be powerful, big, look different. And then if there isn't that, then I'm like, if I'm the only one there, I'm like, And now it's like, this is the part of doing the magic mirror. Can I actually be, in the midst of nothing else, in the midst of no one watching, in the midst of me just being me? And that's a practice, because I don't know if I'm there yet consistently. And that's part of the work too, is how do I create the consistency? And I'm creating for myself because that's what I want to create for my family, my clients, everything else. And the consistency of life isn't the repetitiveness of it all. It's a consistency to be able to choose from a certain place. And that was part of what I tried to impart on these two men yesterday, was now you have a clear remembrance of where this center is, where this knowingness is, where this guidance point is. And being even more clear and explicit, that's probably for me tonight. What's the color? What's the texture? What do you want to call it? As it's coming in. And letting it go for myself. I'm just remembering that day I was doing that work with Tony Robbins. It's like, the lover right underneath the balls, and just feeling that energy and feeling that play and feeling that love of creation, of beauty. Like, even every time I look at the phone, I smile, because like, I've got the fucking best phone in the world. This is great. And then I look at the fireplace, like, oh my God, I love fire. And then the warrior who lives right at the solar plexus for me, and just beating him. Like, oh yeah, there's the strength, there's the fight, there's the willingness to go. And I realized that when I was at the unconventional, and there was the breath that happened before me. I can't remember what it's called now again, but Ariel was leading it, and she's like, slap your legs. And I slapped them so hard, I had all these broken blood vessels. And I was like, yeah, that's the warrior who's like, hey, if you're encouraging me to do this and there's something out of this, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to fight for it. And then able to draw that warrior in others, especially the mothers. Draw out that warrior that's fighting for their kids, but also helping them to see that warrior doesn't need to live all the time. That's part of the problem. And then the king heart, but goes from shoulder to shoulder, because it's the self-compassion, the compassion for others as well. That's what I love from those points. And just being able to have compassion for self and others. It's not just about living my heart, but having that compassion, because I'm going to do dumb shit. Other people are going to do dumb shit and amazing shit. And even having compassion for that, and compassion for myself, for the jealousy when I watch it, with the desire, the want. That was it. Yesterday I was talking to someone about him separating from his ex-wife, and then realized like part of it is really letting her go, and then letting her go so much and having so much freedom that when she finds her next love or her next sense of freedom, that you're going to feel that pang jealousy. It's like, oh, could have been me. And like, yeah, it could have been. And you don't want it to be in this lifetime. Dissolve that false narrative. Dissolve that false narrative, because if we don't let the old versions die, we're trapping them. We're trying to trap them so it can be us, and that's even me. I can notice for some of my exes, I'm like, oh my God, dissolve it. All right, someday, if I'm so lucky, I'll run into them having a beautiful time with their children and be like, good for you. And I'm going to talk to my beloved at some point in time in the nearest future and say, hey, I'm gonna want to reach out to them just to dissolve that peace, to let the peace go, to send it off of freedom, because I am so lucky right now. I am living the life I want to live, and being so clear about that. And then coming up to the magician, all the things I get to say, be, do, the practice and relaxation of the jaw, and that's part of it. My young man is grinding his teeth right now. I'm like, what do I do? How do I support? What's there? And part of it is even just writing these symptoms down, and then taking a look at the different ways of books and everything else like that, and looking outside of the norm. Well, also, when looking at the norm, it's not that normal is bad. It's that normal normally stops at the symptoms versus getting to all the way to the root. And what I love about hearing from Dr. Jack Kruse, he's like a real day house, a living day house. And it's like, how do you be a diagnostician to go all the way back to the root cause and keep going back, and then every time you think you've gotten to it, realize that there could be more, but where he stops is a really good place at least. It's so much deeper than I can imagine. And then for me right now, I'm like, my root cause is continuing to go back to, I want to tap in a little bit to Jerry Sargent right now. He's in Egypt leading amazing tour through there, I'm sure. And now I've got another person. Like, I've got Jerry Sargent, I've got Matthias Stefano, I've got Robert Grant, all of whom lead tours in Egypt that I'd really want to be on. Where else and who else do I want to go with? I don't know yet. Yeah, it's a different noticing in the back of my sinuses, back of my throat today. There's still a fatigue. There's still a dryness, but it's very different than it was the last couple of days, where I was like, oh my God, this could be just the turning point into the old illness, the old sickness I used to experience. I'm just taking a look outside to see if I want to stand outside again, because that sunlight is so important. And then remembering it's not about trying to get as much as I can all the time. That's part of it for me. I get to the point where I'm like, I need to do. I need to keep repeating this. I need to have 600 days of enema. I need to breathe for 1,000 days, all this stuff. And then I ran into, Jack Kruse was talking about this free diver, breath hold expert, Erwin. English isn't his first language, but he's a great slow teacher because of that. And he's teaching breath hold. I'm going to practice some more breath holds. I'm going to play with more breath holding, as I've really played with breath flowing. And it's not to say one is better than the other. In fact, it's not better than. Each of them has their own purposes. And part of it is creating so much flow that the holds themselves actually serve. They actually serve as a place of grounding, as a place of coming together, a place of knowingness. And part of it for me is I haven't felt the strong call to guide breath holds yet. Probably part of it for me is as I'm stepping into my own warrior, is trusting myself to actually have the strength of guidance and letting go. And then part of it yesterday as well was ending the soundtrack with Saturn. Oh my God, the Saturn rockets as well. So guiding us to Saturn instead of Mars, but as well already I think Elon has a clue because he called his rockets, I think, the Saturn rockets, which is kind of funny. As well, that song is just my kind of in dreams right now. It's one of my closing songs that could be a classic. And I've got to decide how often I want to use it. Definitely want to use it tomorrow or today. Today is the equinox, the turning from winter into spring. How many more seasons do I get to have? How many more of these equinoxes, solstices do I get to have? How many more full moons, new moons, blood moons, eclipses do I get to have? How do I not just notice, but choose each one? Let it be a remembrance. Because it's easy sometimes to forget one day after another, and then to realize I'm having so much fun. And then to play with everything in between, not try to maximize every day. Like even a day, like I've had like yesterday and the day before, most of the day was just spent inside resting. It was perfect. And I want more of those days too. I really enjoy my days. I really enjoy my days. And then I really enjoy surprising and delighting my beloved. Just to be like, why do I have 2 vacuums? It's like, well, the first order didn't go through, so I'm like, let's just make sure this works. Why order 1? We can order 2 at twice the price. And then let it go. We'll try them both, and we'll return one of them. Or try one first, and then return the other one. It's all good. And then just saw my buddy Sky on the picture on my computer, and just remembering, thank you, universe, for all these amazing teachers. Like I have so many great teachers, so many people in my own council, on my own tribe. And then being able to continue to develop and create and expand with Marika and Matt, and doing my part, like recognizing them doing my part. I'm definitely doing my part. Yesterday, definitely did my work. Today, I'll definitely be doing my work. This is the work for me. This is the work to develop. This is the work to have fun. And then noticing what's there for us as a company. What are the messages that really want to come through? What is the magic? What is the secret sauce in what we're doing? Paradox. We're actually creating space for paradox to live. Creating space for consistency, inconsistency. Creating space for authenticity, for intimacy. Intimacy is wonderful for a day, but what if it is for 5 months? What if you're creating an intimate container, an intimate bond with a facilitator, facile, making it easy, making it easier for 5 months. It's like having a cheat code for 5 months because you're going to take a look at where you want to expand outside of just life feels hard sometimes. And let's dive into the places that feel hard, dive into the stories that are there. I'm really enjoying the slideshow that pops up on my computer. It's just such a beautiful little thing, and my reminder surrounding myself with technology that really works for me, as me, by me, through me. And I am inviting in that technology that works and reminding myself to turn it off as often as I can. As often as I can. That's part of it for the phone, like it fully reset. Cool. Now what? I'm reminded we even had pigeons that grew on our balcony. Like we've had so many life experiences. So many life experiences. And how to keep growing them, how to keep flowing them, how to keep expanding them, how to keep contracting them. How to partner with. How to partner with. How to create what we're going to create first, really create it, really own it. I'm just noticing, do I talk about what I'm doing with people, or do I just make sure I get one done first? And it'd be great to get at least one done first. It's just like this magic mirror work. I didn't start talking about it until I just started doing it. And sometimes that's the thing. I don't want to get caught up in the talking of the thing versus the doing of the thing. And part of it is selfish because I don't want someone to override me, overtake me. There's a part of that. So it's just owning and honoring that. A bigger part is not getting myself lost and thinking I've already got it before I've got it. And that's the piece too. It's like noticing if you talk about your dreams too much before you actually form them enough, then other people may actually change, modify them. And I'm just looking at pictures of my little one when he was first born and in the ICU, and I'm just realizing how much of a difference it is. This is the dream I'm living right now, the dream of life. And at one point, very briefly, I lived in an absolute madness of a nightmare. And then jumping timelines, and we keep jumping timelines, each and every one of us, and just honoring my folks, my parents especially. They didn't get to jump the timeline they wanted to. Jump off the timeline of we've had a son who's died. And they have jumped both feet into this timeline, and honoring them for the absolute courage and strength it took and takes to live every day. And honoring them for every breath I get to do with them, every layer they get to unveil, reveal, how much effort it takes to conceal parts of ourselves that we don't want to be with. And I can't even imagine trying to be with those parts. And that's part of me is almost simulated grief. It's not trying to make things bad, but actually be with a simulation that I get to create. Start it, stop it. Start the simulation, notice it, notice it's there, allow it to go. And that's life. We're just picking up like, I loved playing video games, and that's such a reminder. I'm just playing video games over and over again. Like every day, every moment is a game. What are the rules? What are the parameters I'm creating? And what I love with my playing with my son is that we're not trying to create so many rules that we get lost in the rules first. It's just bare enough so that we're actually playing and expanding and practicing and trying. And noticing that like my game that I want to teach him is Calvin Ball. The rules just get to keep changing, and I won't be able to keep track of it all. Calvin Ball is one of my favorite games in terms of the idea of it, the execution of it, and the truth of it. The truth of it. Because really, if we're not matter-based people, like if most of this isn't matter, and we actually have said it over and over again, I've heard it for decades now, 99.999% of me is nothingness. And I'm learning more about telekinesis, telepathy, dematerialization, teleportation. I'm learning more about being able to remote view, being able to see beings, being able to tap into the God within, being able to tap into the electric life force, knowing that I'm not neurons connecting things chemically, but rather there's an electrical charge going through everything. And I'm noticing abilities that happen, and I think that we're going to be able to levitate everything else. Can actually not just allow or invite, let go of that active disbelief that all the rules of the game can change at any one time, and they can keep changing and keep changing and keep changing. And the rules are changing in the way that my mind thinks. There's a more of me that's seeing that there are probably some universal laws. The more we think they're universal laws, someday we're going to find that there's even more broader universal law behind it all. Whether it's, we want to say love and fear, whether we want to say it's just everything is mental, like the Kabbalion, all these things. And just making space for all this. And then realizing I really am playing Calvin Ball all the time. And can I allow the God of myself to actually write the rules as I want in the moment? And it's like David Chappelle saying, who is the biggest dreamer in the room? Because they're the one that's writing the rules, and who is talking about what's his face, who's sliding down that pole down to hell. He's like, that man is the biggest dreamer. I'm in his dream right now. And that's my work. How do I not try to own the dream, but create a dream that's so captivating that we're choosing that that's the dream we live in right now. And that's the difference. Instead of pulling everyone and dragging everyone and forcing everyone into my dream. And that's what's been going on. It's the difference between power and force, is having the power to be that container for the dream right now. Yeah. Having the power to be that dream. Noticing my beloved and her best friend. That's part of it. How do I have so many friends and as well not have so many friends right now? I have so many people that I'm friendly with. People that I am loving. And there's a part of me that is holding people at bay a little bit. And it's not bad. It's actually me owning me a little bit more. It's actually seeing, who do I want to be? How do I want to be? What do I want to be? And actually owning the gift of who I am. Like, there's a lot that I have to offer. Connecting with my dear friend Bryce, we are offering a really potent retreat package now. Really potent corporate package. I'm looking forward to that more. How do I breathe with people in a corporate manner? How do I breathe with people in a manner it's like, oh boy, look at this. And noticing I've had many opportunities. I've had different coaches who want to work with me, different business cards, different opportunities. And it's being able to be at a place where I'm ready to step into it. Ohana breath, Ohana sage, Ohana soul, Ohana life, Ohana love, Ohana Gaia, Ohana. It's just, it is fun. Noticing this, it's fun even having gotten the feedback of the idea of cultural appropriation and everything else. I'm like, I am embracing the shit out of that word right now. And Ohana means family. It means no one gets left behind. And not leaving someone behind isn't the same as feeling like I'm forced to carry them. I think that's part of it sometimes, is thinking we're leaving someone behind. It's like, no, we're just choosing to keep walking, and they're choosing not to walk with us. And there's only a leaving behind if we think that there's any separation at all. There's never separation. And can I actually live into that, feel that, breathe that, be that? Like right now, otherwise I've got separation from my family that far away, and realizing I'm tied in with them, I'm tuned into them. I'm entangled with them, so to speak. Today is going to be Wunderbar Day. The only constant is change. I feel to heal. Everything is a choice. Everything is a story. I'm a genius and I apply my wisdom. I do what I love and I love what I do. Wisdom is the instantaneous recognition that crisis is a blessing. Crisis is a fucking blessing. Let's go outside in the sunshine a little bit more, come back in, do a little bit of work with the affirmations, and then trust in this process. There are my flowing stuff, and that's what I needed to do. I almost walked outside without my keys. That would have sucked. That really would have sucked. Over and over again, I'm getting better at not creating more challenges for myself. And I haven't resolved all the challenges yet that I have in my life still. And I'll never resolve all the challenges. That's part of it. Getting things done, that whole idea of being able to clear everything else off the to-do list. And not a bad plan. Part of it for me is not throwing babies out with the bathwater, so to speak. Looking and gazing out into the distance and just, there's so much learning to do. Part of me is like, do I sign up for this breath program? What are the things that I'm willing to do? And part of it is just doing the things that I've already just learned, right? Doing the things of the Demartini method every day. What am I so inspired to do that I would love to do for the rest of my life? Part of it is creation, just creating these videos, creating these experiences for breath. Every day, if I could create some kind of experiential process, almost, that'd be so much fun. And part of it is every day I'm creating this magic mirror work. I'm just getting more and more clear what it looks like. And then the bonus things is, I get to create a breath session. I get to create an equinox ceremony today. And then when I'm clear on something, getting so much support from my beloved that she's like, yep, you're going to do this. I'm going to support you. Oh, you're not feeling well? Let's make sure you're okay for it. And then when I'm clear on that, all right, this is the thing, and then let it go, she supports it. And creating that backwards and forwards flow, because I don't want to always be the one running all the things. All right, wow, it is really raining. It is really raining. Thank you, rain. Thank you, rain. Thank you, rain. Thank you, cosmos. Let's see if I can. Nope. I was trying to see if I can catch into the reflection. I think that's me. And there's probably a place I could have gotten that done. Oh. Loving up this whole system of life. Gonna read the 10 daily pillars, gonna read my little purpose statement, and then we're gonna call it a morning because my dear brother Francis needs this. 8:43. Yeah, needs it soon. So, affirmations. I'm a genius and I apply my wisdom. I am a conscious leader, teacher, guide, facilitator, lover, father, husband, and I am present with each and every moment of life. These are the 10 daily pillars of wisdom. Fair exchange, temperate rhythm, study truths, caring sincerely, sharing wisdom, divine guidance, grateful prayer, silent presence, loving service, inspired action. Inspired action, loving service, silent presence, grateful prayer, divine guidance. Sharing wisdom, caring sincerely, study truths, temperate rhythm, fair exchange. Exchange fair, rhythm temperate, truths study, sincerely caring, wisdom sharing, guidance divine, prayer grateful, presence silent, service loving, action inspired. Thank you, 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 thank you. A genius is one who sees the guiding light of their soul, listens to the internal message, and obeys. Make the rest of my life the best of my life. Every day I'm healthier, every day I'm happier, every day I'm clearer. I like everything I do to my mission, and I'm inspired by my life. Everything serves, including me. I speak from my heart, and people listen. This, too, is a lesson in love. Love is all there is. Everything else is illusion. If my mom were the mother I'd hoped she would be, I would not be the man I'm proud to be today. The universe is my playground. The world is my home, and every country is another room in the house. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm learning from the fucking best teachers right now. And let's see here now. DeMartini. I, Nicholas Hogar Wong, hereby declare before myself, others, and God that my primary purpose in life is to be a soul doctor, first for myself, and then for all those around me by teaching, serving, guiding, facilitating. And I'll do this through taking the highest priority actions every day, including taking the time for myself to explore, to do the magic mirror work, to grow, to do the DeMartini method, to practice affirmation and incantations, to look at my master life plan, to continue to hone in and be clear on what it is that I can most deliver into the world and practice delivering it. So taking a pause, because as I read this, my mind's going somewhere else. And every time I notice that, I'm practicing taking the pause, going, okay, my mind's going back to my dreams last night. And I was sitting there and just realizing I could be anything I wanted to be. I have all these skills, all these abilities. I could be a teacher, I could be a doctor, I could be a lover, I could be an athlete, all these things. And then someone came up to me and was reminding me, and she's like, you could be anything you want. What do you want to be? And then noticing, even in the dream, I had a pull of being in a cafeteria thinking, I gotta go be a doctor again. I gotta go be a doctor again. It's like it was inevitable to get there. And then realizing I don't have to be the doctor like everyone else said. I don't have to go back to doing that way. And I had just dropped or spilled, or someone had spilled a bunch of stuff on the floor, some food. I was like, oh, I gotta clean it up. And I'm like, do I have to be the one to clean things up all the time? No, and what does that mean to clean things up? And how does it look like? And so it's continuing to notice, to challenge myself for the automatics. And to recognize there's so much possibility and to help others to see that too. It doesn't mean you have to throw everything out right away. It's like, oh my God, I've got this thriving business. Great, use that thriving business. Use those skills that you have. But choose, do I really want to keep doubling down on this? And if you do, then double down on it. But if you don't, then just notice every time it's doubling down, lying to yourself. And for myself right now, I am doubling down on this, but I'm doubling down my way, and then I'm noticing the parts that I'm running away from sometimes. I do want to understand how to do what I'm doing better, which reminds me, I'm going to write my dear friend Trina. Just writing a dear consultant friend, super brilliant, and asking her a question. So, what else is there? What else is there? Asking the questions. Right now we're contemplating red light therapy, methylene blue, how to actually find another level of energy, vitality, clarity, healing. And I'm recognizing that for my own body. How do I find this next level? And right now I'm noticing there's more aliveness, more energy, more clarity in this body. And is it because I went out in the light? Is it because I'm doing this work? Yesterday being clearer and clearer, how do I actually own the energy I'm pulling into the breath space without trying to be more than I am, without trying to fight it, without trying to fix it? Today, how do I own this if I want to bring the light? And I might even for myself just to try it out again. It's been a while. Haven't used it in quite some time. Kind of crazy actually how long it's been since I used it. I'm just taking a breath, taking it slow, taking it easy. We're contemplating how we want to head back to PEI this summer, how we want to play, where we want to stay. And I'm just reminded over and over again, like yesterday, I was like, I get to live however I want to, however I want to, however I want to. And then I could notice when I was looking at someone's face, especially during the breath, I could see things for them. And just seeing it without trying to push it, see that parts of themselves that they're hiding and just letting it go, letting it go, letting it flow, not making it right, not making it wrong. Just allowing that energy to flow through. Just to spread the energy, spread the awareness. Having so much fun with it. Part of it keeps coming back to how much fun I'm having, how much absolute fun I'm having. That's part of it. Like, what were the questions? And I wish I had that. Oh, well, let's see if they wrote back those questions actually. This is Ohana breath, yeah. There we go. There we go. What would I absolutely love to do in life? Oh my God, the 7 daily questions. I love this. Love this. I can't wait to print this out. I'm so excited. What would I absolutely love to do in life? I would absolutely love to be teacher, guide, facilitator, father, husband. Oh my God. Adventurer, explorer. Play. Big kid in an adult body. Big kid in an adult body. How do I become handsomely or beautifully paid to do it? Find better and better adult playgrounds, and playgrounds where people want to pay lots of money to dive in deep, to have fun, to learn how to have fun again. Like to learn how to really have fun, not what's supposed to be fun, to really have fun again, to have fun in life. And remind myself and others how to play. What are the 7 highest priority action steps I could complete today that would enable me to do it? All right, so that's the part of the highest priority. I guess that's what I'm doing now. 2025, 03, 21, 7 quality. Ha. Highest priority action steps: magic, mirror, work. Anima, spring equinox ceremony. Judy, apprenticeship, breath, play with sage, and Irus. Let's see here. Nourish, healthy. Hydrate. So those are the top 7 for today. I'm just thinking of the other stuff to do. Jack Cruz, decision program, star magic, writing, taxes, produce, ordering, and juicing. What obstacles might I run into and how might I solve them in advance? Obstacles, fatigue, rest. Worry, overwhelm, breathe. What worked and didn't work today? What worked is sunrise, getting up, taking it in, worked. Multiple, uncomfortable naps, kink. How can I do what I love more effectively and efficiently? Practice, practice, practice. Create, guidance. Write, Ellie. Book, Elena. How did whatever I experienced today, whether positive or negative, serve me? Phone not starting. Practice, patience, and methodical. Rain, wash away. Anything else? That's it for right now. Awesome. I'm so excited to receive this, and I'm so grateful for that. So thank you. Let's get more clear now. What else, if anything? Asking for exactly what I want. Let's keep fucking doing that. Matters so much to keep asking for what I want. Listening to things from Dr. Demartini over and over again right now. So noticing when I'm going off to other teachers and coming back to the actual practices. And now today the practice is going to be doing these 10-minute breaths. Breathing, holding, and practicing taking a breath every time in between. And just loving that for now. Just extending that breath hold time, that comfort with seeing where is that I'm not working too hard. And as well where I'm at the edge of challenge and support. That's the real beauty of that practice. It's the edge of challenge and support over and over and over again. Could be one breath, could be 1,000 breaths, but it's finding my own edge for challenge and support right now. Thank you. Thanking all the pieces of technology, thanking all the beings, thanking all the guides, thanking all the guardians, thanking the family, thanking those living, those not living anymore in the physical human bodies, thanking all the different timelines, dimensions that are here. Thanking all my teachers, my healers, my mentors, my students. Seeing all the different connections that are there, and my beloved reminded me, is like, you definitely have something with this person. I'm like, yep, there's always something. And I used to look at it as good or bad. Instead of, this is just what it is right now. They're a practice point. And how do I practice just being me still? How do I practice just being me still? Over and over and over again. Turn what I've written into a testimonial, words to share, words of wisdom to share. pick out the words of wisdom to share in all my writings. In all the writings, pick out the words of wisdom to share and notice them. Practice interfacing with all these AIs. There's a part of it that wants to play with all this stuff differently and then have it reset. And I don't know how to do that yet. And everyone's brain works differently, I recognize, but in the midst of trying to create, that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to pick out different pieces of my life, but I'm trying to do it in real time this way. And that's part of what impressed me about Jack Kruse. He wasn't looking at a screen. He wasn't trying to remember. He's working and navigating his own consciousness, his own memory, and that's what I'm practicing doing as well when I'm practicing picking out names, dates, ways of being, activities, and then noticing how much of my stuff I've saved onto here, how much I can use it as a tool to remember, but how much of it I want to let go of trying to keep coming back to this. All right. I think I am complete with this part for now. I am pretty complete with the recording for now. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else, and I might keep recording all the way home. It's raining a little bit less now, so I might be willing to walk outside again. So interesting, this life. Being with fire, being with air, being with water, being with earth. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. It's the first time I've actually used that room for breath as well. So many firsts that happened yesterday, and the synchronicities that happened. Oh no, it's not. The first time was with my dear brother, but it was a much messier room, and it was a very different experience. And it was a really powerful experience because that's what he asked for. That's what he asked for. And I'm grateful he asked for it. I'm really grateful he asked for it. My blue blockers that I got from my beloved, super happy about those. I can't wait to have homes all over the world. And inviting and introducing these concepts of co-living spaces, but it doesn't have to be massive co-living spaces. Even a few units together is a start. And that's probably it for me. Like, I don't need to create this massive building. Like, there's a lot of energy here. But even a 4-person co-living space, that'd be a freaking good start. And I think that's what I want to do. I'm going to invest in a little piece of real estate. That could be something I do even with my dear brother Sean. Let's invest in a piece of property together. Let's have him be one of the partners. That's actually a really interesting idea. So, and letting someone else introduce some of these too. Not having to always have it be me to introduce all the ideas. Turning off the fireplace. Got the keys with me. Ready for the next phase of life, of living. Lakayam. To life, Lakayam. Lakayam, to life. Really enjoying, like, I got to watch Fiddler on the Roof with my dad, and I'm always grateful to him for that. I got to enjoy Phantom of the Opera with my brother and my cousins in the theater because my mom got us tickets. Got to enjoy Anne of Green Gables. Ice cream. Is anything more delectable than ice cream? Is anything more selectable than ice cream? Yeah, I'll probably bring Sage to that and see what he thinks. His first live musical. If he loves it, great. If he doesn't, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. We'll do a matinee. We'll do some okay seats and just try it out. What else is there? Man, this life ain't good enough. I guess I have to live my life to better suit your mood. All right, just getting to going up the stairs now. We'll be stopping this soon. There's a lot of noise here, but I just wanted to try it out. So we're all the way on the 6th floor. We are on the 2nd floor where all that stuff is. What's really neat about all this is with the gimbal and everything else, that will be extra smooth. I'm going to check it out in a little bit and see what it looks like whenever I actually take a look at it on the phone. And I get to hear the noise and see how crazy it is and see how untenable this is or how tenable it is. This is a hike.